You are Notch.
I am Notch.
Yes.
He's the creator of the game Minecraft, the great Marcus Pearson.
Notch is going to officially release Minecraft.
It's about to have sold 54 million copies.
Turns out what I love doing is making games, not hyping games or trying to sell a lot of copies. I'm not a CEO. I'm a nerdy computer programmer who likes to have opinions on Twitter.
Marcus Pearson wanted the world to know that it's just really hard being a billionaire.
Have you sold out to the evil corporations yet?
No, not yet, and we hope not to.
This is not worth it anymore. Who wants to buy the company? Thank you for turning Minecraft into what it has become, but there are too many of you. I don't make games with the intention of them becoming huge hits. When the internet exploded with hate against me, I didn't understand. I don't want to be a symbol responsible for something huge. I don't try to change the world.
What if I told you you don't really know Notch? In fact, you only know half of the story about the creator of the world's most influential game. And while most YouTube videos and media only ever tell you about the controversies of Notch, I want to reveal this whole other side of Notch that you never heard of. A story about this man who wanted to separate himself from his own creation to escape the pressure of being in a position of immense responsibility. Notch kicked off his programming journey at the age of 7.
When my dad bought us a Commodore 128, we started subscribing to this magazine that had like program lists in it. And I started just entering them and kind of started playing around with programming from there.
And by the time he was 8, he had already created his first game. But fast forward to the late 2000s and Notch was already laying down the blocks for what would eventually become the game we know today as Minecraft. But how did Notch go from genius game developer to lonely and misunderstood?
And then I saw the This Is Phil Fish video.
This is Phil Fish. Phil is, or was, a game designer. He worked at Ubisoft and released a game called Fez. And everybody hates him. He's been called a racist, a liar, arrogant, overrated, and generally, quote, an asshole.
This was Notch's greatest fear. Around the same time, Notch was receiving a similar kind of public outlash.
It's completely certain I was gonna have to like shut down my Twitter because I thought people would be so upset.
The reason? A change in Minecraft's end-user license agreement, or EULA, that supposedly stopped players from monetizing Minecraft content. But here's the catch. Those EULA changes never happened.
This big thing happened with the EULA incident where people thought that we changed the rules, which had always been in place, but what actually happened was that some people brought it up like, so we're not allowed to do this and that. And we said no, so we looked it over and actually made the rules more lenient, but people still got very upset with like me personally. I wasn't working on Minecraft anymore and I hadn't for a long time, but I still was kind of responsible for it. I am Notch.
Yes. He's the reason why we're all here.
Yes, I am God.
Yes. That's right.
Notch realized, being the creator and face of Minecraft and the CEO of Mojang, it meant that he was an automatic target for all that negativity. And the only way to escape the hate was to disconnect Notch from Minecraft.
Have you sold out to the evil corporations yet?
No, not yet, and we hope not to. So basically the idea is that we just have a company where we make games that we think are fun.
Good, but how long do you think you'll be able to do that before you kind of get absorbed by the Borg?
I think that depends on how long we can kind of keep the fun mood going that we have.
Right.
We have to decide what actually like the full version of the game is. Then the next step is to do that. Finally, like being able to say this is Minecraft, because I rarely finish my hobby projects. And now it's grown into a big company, so I should probably finish it. I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm not a CEO. I'm a nerdy computer programmer who likes to have opinions on Twitter. I'm also aware a lot of you were using me as a symbol of some perceived struggle. I'm not. I'm a person, and I'm right there struggling with you. Everyone's giving me so much like crap online. I just went, no, this is not worth it anymore. So I just tweeted, who wants to buy the company?
After crunching the numbers and sorting out the taxes and expenses, Notch ended up with a cool $1.3 billion. And he had one goal.
I'm making up for lost time when I was at home just programming throughout my 20s and before that. And now I realized, oh, it's fun to go party. When I was younger, we didn't have a lot of money at all. If I ever get rich, I'm not going to be one of the boring rich people who doesn't spend money buying houses in LA and partying.
Notch had it all, everything that money could buy, and well, therein lies the problem. Unlike those celebrities and influencers who stick to a super polished public image, Notch doesn't play it safe. He's not afraid to show his not so perfect side of himself to the public, even if it means his reputation might take a hit. A good example is when this whole thing happened.
Hanging out in Ibiza with a bunch of friends and partying with famous people, able to do whatever I want, and I've never felt more isolated.
You're completely wrong. Selling out was the best thing I ever did. For what it's worth, while there are articles about my depression because I had a bad day and vented on a trend I saw, I'm sitting here having a nice day.
Even though Notch wasn't genuinely feeling down, the public perception had already shifted. Notch, in the eyes of the public, would be exactly what they thought he was. A sad billionaire who regrets selling his creation. But wait, Notch was about to pay the real price for being unapologetically himself on a platform like Twitter. In June 2017, Notch made a tweet slamming folks who opposed Heterosexual Pride Day, a sort of counter to gay pride that some labeled as homophobic. Then followed by these tweets, which was evidence that Notch was anti-transgender too. But here's a twist the headlines didn't tell you. Notch might not be as transphobic or homophobic as those tweets suggest. After the Heterosexual Pride Day debacle, he did a 180 tweeting,
So yeah, it's about pride of daring to express, not about pride of being who you are. I get it now.
and in various points in time, Notch has been known to say things that are very much pro-LGBT. And here's the best part. In an old blog post about Minecraft's development, Notch talks on intentionally giving game characters traits from both sides of the gender spectrum.
If it wasn't for the fact that the default Minecraft character is referred to as Minecraft Guy, and that I once jokingly answered Steve when asked what his name was. The human model is intended to represent a human being, not a male human being or a female human being, but simply a human being. All the other mobs in the game are genderless. Also, as a fun side fact, it means every character and animal in Minecraft is homosexual because there's only one gender to choose from. Take that, homophobes. I do regret using masculine terms to talk about the default character. These days I try to use the up-and-coming use of they as a genderless pronoun.
Not 2 weeks since this tweet, Notch would turn up the heat with some slightly more racially focused tweets. But again, Notch has made some tweets criticizing racism and making it crystal clear that he is not about that racist life. He has celebrated action taken against far-right racist nonsense that was aimed at immigrants in Sweden. And again, when it came to Minecraft, Notch has clarified that he intentionally designed the main character to be of ambiguous race. So it's like these examples scream not racist. But guess what? That didn't stop people from labeling Notch as a racist and transphobic or homophobic. But what if I told you this might have been exactly what Notch wanted all along? Maybe he wanted to be controversial.
When the internet exploded with hate against me over some kind of situation that I had nothing to do with, I was confused. I don't want to be a symbol responsible for something huge that I don't understand, that I don't want to work on.
Following the deterioration of Notch's public image, Microsoft would remove all the Minecraft splash text referencing Notch. But what if I told you this might have been exactly what Notch wanted all along, to be forgotten as the creator of Minecraft? The internet is a place of negativity bias, and since Twitter was Notch's social media of choice to express his true self, it's no wonder that the negativity is what gets filtered out.
Although people produce much more positive content on social media in general, negative content is much more likely to spread.
When you craft a game that practically shaped childhoods, built livelihoods, and changed the lives of people in ways you can't even imagine, it's no surprise that everyone held Notch to a high standard. They expect him to be the good guy, someone on their side. Much like Minecraft was on your side during your childhood, standing by you in both your darkest and happiest moments. This kind of expectation inevitably leads to a negativity bias in how people and the media perceive Notch. Many feel a sense of betrayal and hurt that overshadows any positive deeds that he might have done in the past.
And I can't be responsible for something this big. A lot more people cared about my games now. People got incredibly excited, and the pressure of suddenly having people care if the game got made or not started zapping the fun out of the project. I spent a lot of time thinking about if I even wanted to make games anymore. I guess I could just stop talking about what I do, but that doesn't really come all that natural to me. Turns out what I love doing is making games. Not hyping games or trying to sell a lot of copies. I just want to experiment and develop and think and tinker and tweak. If I ever accidentally make something that seems to gain traction, I'll probably abandon it immediately. I love you. All of you. Thank you for turning Minecraft into what it has become, but there are too many of you, and I can't be responsible for something this big. In one sense, it belongs to Microsoft now. In a much bigger sense, it's belonged to all of you for a long time, and that will never change. I make games because it's fun and because I love games and I love to program, but I don't make games with the intention of them becoming huge hits. And I don't try to change the world.
Even people as seemingly authentic as Notch is, social media can only ever give us a peek into their lives. Only Notch himself and maybe his closest friends would really know what kind of human he really is. That's why a random tweet or social media entirely cannot be a reliable source of information about a person. There's always more to the story. People are complicated. That celebrity you followed for years, the streamer or YouTuber you binge watch, truth is, you don't really know them and you don't really know Notch. Ever since Notch's departure, Mojang's track record with Minecraft updates hasn't been quite popular with the community, to the point where Notch tweeted out,
I'm not the one to speak ill of the dead, but yeah, Minecraft's a little bit dead.
So you might find this next video really interesting, where we delve into the most controversial update Mojang has made to Minecraft. I'll see you guys there.
Good talk.
Good talk, good talk.